Check, check, quick sound check. Can everybody hear us loud and clear? What is going on, Coach Paul?
Doing, buddy? Uh, you're gutting it through, but I cannot see you.
Give me 1 second. I will share those screens with you. Feeling a little bit better. The markets helped with that today, for sure. Had a decent day in the markets. Trying to fight this flu. Don't want them to get me, but they're fighting back. They're fighting back. So a lot of rest, a lot of vitamins, ginger, turmeric, all that stuff. There you go. You should be able to see us now, Coach Paul.
There we go. Awesome. Good to see you.
Good to see you too. And for friend Baker in the chat, did Coach Paul retire? Nope. He's right here. We found him.
No retiring. I'm going to go down swinging. I just enjoy it too much.
Absolutely. Especially when you see moves like gold towards the end of the day, making a new all-time high. But welcome to At the Buzzer, everyone. Our market recap. If this is your first time here, the goal of this session is to review what happened in the markets for the day. We may talk about some markets that you have not traded before. We believe our goal as traders is to identify opportunity. We want to see how we can take advantage of our opportunities while managing our risk. I'm Coach Jay. I've been a Topstep Performance Coach since June of 2023, and that is Coach Paul. Coach Paul, go ahead and introduce you.
Hey, I'm Coach Paul. I've been with Topstep since April of 2023. I've been involved in the futures trading industry for 4 decades. I'm here to share some of my experience, some knowledge, and hopefully help you become a better trader.
Awesome stuff. You are all our chat, our audience. We appreciate you being here each and every day that you join us. And shout out to all of you getting us to 200,000 subscribers here at Topstep and TopstepTV. That's just amazing to see. There are a ton of YouTube channels out there, and there are more that don't have 200,000 subscribers than do. So we appreciate you all being here. Yeah, let's get into these markets.
We're here for you.
Absolutely.
That's why we do this.
Absolutely. Let us know how your day ended up today. Were you up on the day, down on the day? Anything that you learned from today, and we'll get into charts. We know as far as news goes, it's a pretty quiet news day. We did have a consumer confidence number come out. Consumers less confident than expected. Forecasted number was 91. Came in at 84.5, I believe. Yeah, so consumer confidence lower than expected. We have a bunch of earnings that came out today. United Health didn't look great on their earnings. Was down almost 20% today. GM, American Airlines, Boeing. The big tech earnings start tomorrow, where we have IBM, Tesla, and Microsoft after the Fed rate decision. And headlines flying around across the board. We saw the president talking. I believe he's still talking right now, actually, giving his opinion on the dollar. He says, I don't think the dollar declined too much. I looked at the dollar chart. It looks pretty heavy here, but not too much. Not too much. Anything you got on the news, Coach Paul?
Yeah, well, nothing big on the news. Tomorrow is FOMC, but dollar is plummeting. So I'm looking at that chart, Swiss franc, big move. But other than that, we have United Health Group.
Yeah.
I don't know. That started in Europe. I don't know why, but it affected the Dow. That was important news. But what do we have coming out here this afternoon on earnings?
We did have Texas Instruments on the calendar for earnings. That's really it. Again, those big tech earnings are tomorrow. United Health not making any money. I'm in that one. Had to re-up my insurance for 2026, and they made some money from me.
Question
Made some money from
why
me.
they're not making money?
I don't know. They made some money from me. I know that much. We will take a look at the quote board. 36 different markets we can trade with Topstep accounts. And today, to the downside, we had natural gas down 2.23%, silver down 2.77%, and platinum, our biggest percentage mover to the downside, down 8.57%. To the upside, crude oil up 3.08%, heating oil up 3.22%, and micro Ethereum futures, our biggest percentage mover to the upside, up 4.29%. To talk about our big four, we already mentioned crude up 3.05%. I remember somebody saying crude oil had the potential to be the market of 2026, and it's in a tough race right now because it looks to the left, it sees gold. It looks to the right, it sees silver. Crude oil is right in the middle. It's trying to keep up the pace, but gold and silver are making it kind of hard. It's like racing Usain Bolt. Uh,
with 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 one leg.
right,
Yeah.
and he has a jetpack strapped to his back. If you look at gold, but
Yeah.
hey,
We'll get there.
you got to be in the race. You got to be in the race to have a chance to win it. Crude oil up 3%, S&P up 0.37%, gold making new all-time highs, up 1.86% on the day, and the Nasdaq to wrap up our big four, up 0.97% on the day. I'm gonna pull up a Nasdaq chart here. We're gonna go out to a daily. What are we seeing on the daily here in the Nasdaq, Coach Paul?
Oh, well, one of the things is we're breaking out a little bit to the upside. We closed on the daily above the 20 and the 50, and we're picking up momentum to the upside. It was the strongest indices today. I think that the Dorito,
Yeah.
the mother of all Doritos, and we're picking up a velocity. It was the strongest. It looks strong to me. Is anything in there you can add to, Coach?
Starting to pick up some pace, maybe. Decent volume over the last couple of days. We did close again outside of that Dorito pattern that Coach Paul was talking about here, closing the day above 26,000, which we haven't done in a very long time. So maybe this is it. We talked about it. Whenever this move breaks out, it is going to be a pretty strong move. The question is this the actual breakout, or is this just another failed move? We have to let the market determine that. But today, pretty strong one directional market in the Nasdaq today. Let's take a look at the 30-minute charts. Take a look at the 30-minute here in the Nasdaq. Here is last night's open. Did have a decent amount of urgency last night. Started to pick up during that Asia session. What are you seeing here, Coach Wall?
Um, you talked about it last night. We made the low on the opening, and in the first couple minutes, there was urgency. Um, and VWAP, we never closed below the VWAP, the session VWAP. Very strong. They came after it early and often. Um, nice trade. I mean, it was, and we're still near the highs of the day. So I'll call that allocation as we looked at the daily, and it. So does it continue? I don't know, but I read the market, and it was being bought literally from the first minute last night. So very positive action, bias, upward bias, the whole session.
A really strong move, ending the day near its highs, 26,097, 26,097 and a quarter last trade here in the Nasdaq. Quinn, not yet, but make sure you stay tuned in to Topstep TV. Didn't say not yet, not at all. Nope. But we appreciate you being here. But I heard Andre say make sure you stay Topstep TV. So I'll say that as well. Nasdaq continuing to push here. The president is speaking. I know he was scheduled to speak right at the top of the hour. We'll maybe bring in any headlines that could move the markets around there. But yeah, just a really nice bid in the Nasdaq today. Let's take a look at the session open. New York session open. Looked like a decent sell early on. And, we were talking here, Coach Paul. Uh, volume, price left that range, that opening 3-minute range to the downside pretty aggressively, but volume never did. And on this turn here, it's tough for shorts if you're not see profit, take profit. We talk about it all the time. If volume leaves that range to the downside, then sure, my job is to get in short with them. But when it turns around, if I'm short, I have to have risk managed, right? It's okay to be wrong. I don't know if it's okay to stay wrong.
And well, isn't that the art of trading, cutting your losses? When we were trading or on that open, I took a quick short in Nasdaq with that breakout,
Yeah, valid trade.
and took literally $30 loss. soon as we got back in on that buying, because VWAP did not leave the range, price did. Also, we once we got above the session VWAP, that was off to the races. Um, but key point here is VWAP on that never left the range. So being patient, we talk about the discipline. You need discipline. You got to be disciplined to be disciplined.
Yeah.
But reading that, yeah, there was selling, but what did that selling do?
Met some buyers with
It
some big
met some
pockets.
buyers. Yeah. So, as you like to say, don't swim in front of the shark. I dodged the shark on my quick short and got behind the shark, and the shark took us to new highs where we finished.
Yeah. What Coach Paul is saying there with that, don't swim in front of the shark is the market, right? The shark is volume. And when we're selling, especially if we're establishing a short here, it's so far away from where volume is that it's if that shark turns around and goes the other way, right, then it's looking for everybody who got in late here. So, uh, yeah, really nice turnaround in the Nasdaq. Held up pretty well. Held that VWAP from the open a couple of times. Actually, right even towards the end of the day, we came down, took another look at it, and found some aggressive buyers holding up this market. So the Nasdaq, go back to a daily really quick, is just over 2% off the all-time high. We got the Fed and a bunch of tech earnings tomorrow. Does this move sustain is the question. Take a look at the S&P here. Very similar story here, Coach Paul. Anything different you want to talk about in the S&P? We got some questions on the Dow as well. We can spend some time with that.
Well, brought the Dow and Rusty. Rotation is going back the other way. What I mean with the Dow got hit hard last night and really never recovered. And the Russell got hit on the opening and never really recovered. So there was selling on the opening in the Russell while the Nasdaq turned around and held. So the rotation is coming back to risk on. With great question on that. So if we look at, is that the Dow up there?
This is the Russell, but I can switch it over to the Dow here. Now we're looking at the Dow.
Yeah, let's look at the 30-minute. And it was a great long last night.
Yes, it was. Here's the
There was
open.
urgency. Yeah, there's the open. We had urgency and a breakout. Um, 2-to-1 trade, very reasonable. But even if you're playing it long, what changed? Look at session VWAP, the red line. It was rising. We traded, I believe it was United Health, as news came out of in Europe. And once we got under VWAP, look at that. Never recovered. Now things change. We talk about on the opening, you get fragmented information. It's all I used a half an hour to determine that. And last night you wouldn't be wrong being long until the structure changed. When did it change? When we couldn't hold session VWAP.
Yeah.
And then we just collapsed.
Yes, we did. Gabriella McDowell with the comment of the day so far. Hit the like button. Appreciate you being here. But yeah, the Dow fell apart. So I'm just looking it up here. Top weighted companies in the Dow. And Jack talks about this often, but it's price weighted. So at one point, I think United Health was pretty high up there. And again, price weighted in the sense that whatever the price is, that's the heaviest weighted in that index. So right now, Goldman Sachs is trading at $929. It's 11.68% of the Dow. United Health is in the 12th spot right now, 3.56% weighting. It lost $70 today. So if I'm looking at this chart here, and I'm not going to share it, but when the market opened up today, or when the before the Dow sold, yeah, we'll call it yesterday. The Dow was the number 6 weighted company in United Health was the number 6 weighted company
Yes.
in the Dow. But the fact that it lost $70 today, it went all the way down to 12th spot, losing 19% on the day and dragging the Dow down with it. Ems, yeah, $70 on the stock is a lot. It's a lot.
Yeah, and like you said, it's the Dow is the father of all indices. Charles Dow, I think in 1910 said it. It's been around a long time, and it was price weighted versus the S&P. It's percentage weighted. So it does make a big difference when one stock gets hit hard, and that was United Health. I found it interesting that I don't know, did it come out as a headline?
I don't. I think it might have just been the earnings at that price.
Yeah, because the fact that it started when London opened up, they had a head start on the selling. If I'd have known that, I would have been up for London.
Shout out to all of our friends in London. All right, and we'll take a quick look at the Russell. Pretty consolidated, and we talked about this as well. When the S&P and the Nasdaq start to gain some momentum, it has to come from somewhere, and it's been in the Russell for the past couple of maybe a month or so. But if we see that rotation, the Russell could flatline and pretty range bound day here today.
Yeah.
Anything else you want to say on the equities, Coach Paul?
No, let's get to the star of the show.
Yeah. Chauncey saying ES touched yesterday's New York point of control and went up. Check it out. Yeah, I mean, we could go through a bunch of different uh, strategies and things here. Uh, if we look at point of control, there you have it. Which Chauncey, I love that. I don't personally use volume profile, but the first word in that volume, I agree with you. Right? It's not a coincidence that the S&P stopped here. This is New York session only, which most of us trade. But I think even if we go full session, that's where all the volume was, right at that high. Came back, tested it, made sure they were still looking to buy it. They were. Beautiful trade there. Beautiful trade in the S&P. But like Coach Paul just said, the star of the show, bell of the ball, gold,
The golden child.
the golden child. Here's last night's open.
We started buying early and often. We picked up momentum on Shanghai Open. Interestingly, in the U.S., we went and tested that open,
Here's the Shanghai
and
Open. First 30-minute candle here.
and we had pretty heavy volume selling. If we look down at the volume, they tried to take it lower.
Yeah.
And what did we get? It wasn't a perfect trade, but we got selling it, heavy selling, couldn't take out the buying. And once we closed above that heavy selling, it was off to the races where we're still near the highs.
Yes, it is. Chauncey saying gold respected value area low. I believe you. I believe you. We're not gonna pull them all up because then everyone's gonna be like, "Hey, look at my you know flip a coin indicator. It worked pretty well." But Chauncey, I believe you. We look at those value area highs, lows, and I love that stuff. Just because it's based on volume. One of the things we talked about doing is framing out the Shanghai session open on a smaller time frame just to reduce the risk on some of these trades. And if you do that on a 3-minute, we got urgency very early and did not stop. And then this happens. Right as power hour is starting, really no headline. After settlement, settlement is here in gold.
The 12:20 Central, 1:20 Eastern.
Yeah.
is the settlement. Very, very, and you can see by the volume. There was volume spike, but we frame that out. That's really the next session. Why settlement and not the Globex close? Well, if you have your own personal account, brokerage account, what is it now? I know mine is 50,000 for silver, like 30,000 for gold margin. So that is based on settlement, not the Globex close. So if you're going to carry a position, it's 1220 central. That's that point. We never went lower than that.
Right. 100%. There's that settlement. We've talked, I forgot what we called this trade. But we talked about it like a month, or not a month, a year ago, saying, framing out, it was a 5-minute candle on the settlement of gold, and that presenting a trade. Again, do you know it's going to do this? No one knows that this is going to happen. Someone knows this is going to happen. The person who creates this knows that it's going to happen, but a really nice opportunity, right? This is the settlement candle on a 5-minute. That is the 5-minute candle that starts at 1:25 Eastern time. That candle held. And do you hold on and catch this entire trade? Depends on who you are as a trader, but this area held pretty well, and really nice spike up from here. Once we really got going, I don't know what got into gold. Again, I didn't see a headline or anything like that came out. This is not a move you want to try to fade. Coach Paul started buying. This is not a move you want to try to fade. I don't want to try to fade this, Coach Paul, right? Where, it went up too quickly. If you attach a VWAP to this 1-minute candle where 2,000 contracts happen to trade in a minute, which was the highest volume 1-minute candle of the day in gold, attach a VWAP to it, see how that responds, and then go from there. You gonna say something, Coach Paul?
Yeah, I was going to say that there's where the big buying came in, right? We
Yep.
said this. 2,000 contracts. And
In a
remember,
minute.
this happened after the settlement.
Right.
So if you're not familiar, settlement is money. You can't stay if you can't hold it overnight. You got to get out before that, or put up a lot of money. So it's almost a system of once a settlement comes out, it's going to be easy to drive this.
Yeah.
But 2,000 contracts, and some of it was the news. So Trump is going to talk. I don't know that. I don't follow it. I follow the volume and the price action. That right there. One thing is, how much of that can you afford?
Yeah.
And that now, if you can't afford it, like I said, you might have champagne taste and 6-pack budget.
Right.
You have to, you might not be able to buy the Heinekens. You might have to get some hams.
I don't even know what that is.
Yeah. So, but this is when we talk about reading the market, staying in the present, you're getting more information. What I will say is, do you want to fade that? Then it goes back to the comments of don't swim in front of the shark. If
Yep.
you're fading that volume, and by the way, that was above VWAP.
Mm-hmm.
I'm more convinced than ever that settlement. I'm going to be watching that.
Yeah.
Because it's a new day after the settlement.
100%.
So that was a classic example of reading the flow.
100%. Let's take a look now at silver. One of the things we've been realizing recently is, and today they kind of moved in tandem, but when one starts to break out, the other one is pretty consolidated. On a daily, this is still extremely bullish. We already recovered more than 50% of that 17% sell-off high to low yesterday. Right back above 50% of it.
And looking at that half, there was a half-hour volume I looked at on that break. That was the biggest volume I since like 2021 for a half hour. It stopped going back on my data on
Yeah,
a half hour. But if we talk about a blow off top, we have to settle below the high, right? And silver. Take a look at the first minute if you can
on the Globex Open,
on Globex Open.
first minute here.
All
It's
right,
about $1.30 range.
a dollar. So if you're trading silver on a micro, that is about $1,000, $1,200
Yeah,
in a minute. I'm not trading it. I'm just waiting. But look at that first minute attached VWAP. Now I was watching this. That had the potential to be a blow off top, almost an island top. Once we left that first minute, and that game was over. That was this. If we go to a 3 minute, when we go to the Coach J 3 minute,
yep.
it had urgency. So what I want to say is, I was looking. Could this be the blow off top? Now that was my thought. Well, this is proof.
Right.
This is money,
Set the low
and
pretty much on the open. Right after we took a look below that low, but we came back and tested this price a bunch of times, right around that 105. Uh, yeah, I think we even said it yesterday. It's hard to say that this is, or we didn't do at the buzzer yesterday. We were talking yesterday, but it's hard to say that this rally is ever over until it's over. And until we start to see some significant candle closes below a prior day's range, uh, onward and upward. And if the metals start to move like gold moved towards the end of the day there, Coach Paul, we could be talking about $200 in silver by the end of the week.
uh, and that's not a joke.
No, it's not.
I mean, that's within the realm of possibility.
Anything is possible.
So one other thing, and we won't do this today because we're going to get the 105.57 was the first level of support from yesterday.
105.57. Okay.
So it's right in that range. So if we look at the half hour,
Held up pretty
well,
well.
yeah, because it held. As a matter of fact, look at VWAP, the session. Now that's session VWAP. Now it never traded below that support,
Right. Price did.
and price did, but price is less important than volume.
Yeah.
A market that has no volume does what?
Either one or two,
Sideways.
it goes sideways or it goes insane. If anybody else is trying to trade it, right? I posted on this on Twitter the other day, Coach Paul, and when silver market opened up on Sunday, and again, we look at volume here. There are a million different ways to look at this market, but if volume doesn't matter, how do you trade silver when there's a 30 tick spread? Because it'll still move, but sometimes when we talk about volume, it's not just present volume; it's the lack of it as well. Uh, and the lack of volume in a market could get it going crazy on a very small trade. So, yeah, it's either going to be very range bound or extremely volatile. Edgy Invest says, I'm officially divorcing from silver. Hey,
Yeah, you might not be able to afford her or him.
yeah,
You know,
could be.
I'm not trading it. 1 minute charts are have $1,200 risk.
Yeah,
If that's the 100-ounce silver, It's $120. I'll play. Now this happened in 1980 when silver went to $50. That was insane. I was at the Mid America Commodity Exchange where the original mini contracts. All the volume went over to the mid end because the Board of Trade had a silver contract that was 7,000 ounces. The COMEX had 5,000. No one could afford it except for the largest could afford to trade it.
Right.
It was a lack of liquidity. So just like our trading, you have to size up your risk. If you just keep trading in the 5,000, in this case, the 1,000 ounce, and you have that's swinging in a minute $1,200, and your balance is what, $3,000?
Yeah. Good luck.
You can't well, if you can't afford to be wrong, you can't afford to trade it.
Yeah.
So yeah, nice move by Silva holding it because it looked yesterday like this was it. But remaining in the present, getting away from a predictive mode.
Hmm.
Because I had to go through, like I was trained as an economist, I was always predicting it has to do this. Because I know the market's wrong. It leads to a series of really emotional quagmire. But staying in the present, having a plan, reading the market, uh, you're going to do better. If you're in a predictive mode, you get to a point where you have to be right.
Yeah. Scary place to be.
Yeah, I'm
Scary.
never going back there.
Scary place to be. Billy says, did that affect the dollar like it might be doing now?
Yeah, great, great point. Yes, it is. Dollar
Dollar's getting smoked right
is
now. Uh,
smoked.
Dollar is getting absolutely smoked right now, which is bringing us some opportunity in these markets. Dolby and I were talking about this the other day. He's just like, even if you have profits on the metals, you take the profit and exchange it for a dollar that's being devalued every day. It's tough, but here's where we are. Speaking of which, Coach Paul, let's take a look at. I'm gonna pull up a currency chart. I got to step away for just a second. I'm gonna pull up a currency chart. I'm gonna let you pick. We're seeing the dollar sell off.
Euro currency.
Euro currency. Let's look at the euro here.
Uh,
Daily or 30?
came up 30.
30. And here is last night's open. Wow, that really got going towards the end of the day as well.
Yeah, it was a great point by Billy. Now, if we attach VWAP, anchor VWAP to the open, which will be the session. Um, was that last night's opening?
That is last
Okay,
night's open.
there we
Correct.
go. All right,
This is the London session.
all right. So interesting is, and you can go get
Yep.
what you need to
I'll
get
step away for a
done.
second. Be right back.
All right. We had the opening a small range, and if you notice, VWAP doesn't leave that small range. All right. Now we did get some selling. We're making new lows into this candle, but Coach D says it. Time is important. The time of day. It's a level coming into Europe. This is a new, as you know, when I worked in the brokerage industry, it's past the deck. There's three important time frames: Asian Open, European Open, US Open. So Asia, it was breaking session VWAP underneath it. But when we talked about things change, what changed here? If you're short, this is all great. But what did Europe do? they started buying it. We frame out anchored VWAP, and then an hour later, or hour and a half later, we're above session VWAP. We're above the European Open VWAP and closed above Asian session open. Now, you tell me what the flow is. If I'm short, I'm out of there. I don't have to be right. Another thing is I'm going to stop selling. If I didn't want to buy it, at least I'm going to stop. If I'm buying it,
Yeah.
session VWAP should continue to expand, to go up. And it did it all day. And this is the beginning of a trend. So we expect, especially in Asia, the euro currency really to rotate. And it did.
Yeah.
And then we got some downward momentum. Don't blame me for. I mean, that's that's a good sell.
Yeah. Yep.
But I had to go through a mantra for years: is I don't know, so I could get into an observant mindset.
For sure.
So I'm short here, and I see this movement out of Europe and VWAP leaving anchored VWAP leaving a range, and then getting above the session. I could,
Goodbye.
you know, yeah, it's not me. That's the shark.
Yeah.
I'll put it this way: a session VWAP is the shark.
Yep. That is the market. That is the market.
So, and let's look at the daily really quick. Where's the white line?
On the daily, we left it behind a little while ago.
There we go. That was last week.
Euro up 1.42% on the day. Really nice move there, making highs that we haven't seen in a very long time. I know this is a futures contract, so there's rollover and stuff like that, but maybe we are seeing a trend. Are we early to this trend? Like we could have been in silver as well. Really nice move there in the euro. Let's talk about crude oil because this one is starting to pick up as well. 2026 could be the year of crude oil. And so far this year in crude, we are up just under 10%. We had this J trade candle at the low, high volume at the lows, made the low of the year, hovered above it, and we really haven't seen much selling since then. We know geopolitical risk always a factor in crude oil, and I think more of the same today. What are you seeing here on the daily?
BTD
By the dip?
by the dip.
Yeah.
Now we're above the 200. We're holding that. We have a J trade from the lows of the year. Another thing, it's a commodity. It's priced in
Can't print
dollars.
more of it.
You cannot print more, and it's priced in dollars.
Right.
Dollars weakening. It's a commodity. It's a theme. This is the most beat up commodity we've had. So what I mean by buy the dip, let's look at the action from London. I don't even look at it in the Asia.
London matters in crude oil. Can it move during the Asia session? It can, but we've seen this time and time again. Again, we're not just cherry picking the lowest of the day, lowest candle of the day. This is where this market starts to pick up some volume. Could it move in the overnight session? It could, but as a default, I'm probably only going to start looking at crude oil from London on. And in this case, where it opened up in London was right at that 200 moving average on the 30-minute. Put a white horizontal line at that price. And we'll go down to shorter time frame. But we opened up pretty much right at that 200 moving average. And if we attach a VWAP there, Coach Paul. Never left that 30-minute range to the downside.
What's that? Is that that's the 3-minute?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Look do we have a J trade there?
Yes, we do.
Yeah. Yes, we do. Now let's go from there. Once we closed above it, that was great. That was great risk.
Yes, it was.
Now, let's go back. It's not just that 3 minutes. We get evidence from the daily, all right? We get evidence from the half hour. We could use the hour. Well, I don't.
Right.
But coming into that, it's the it's the rivers flowing up. Um, but we've seen this. It's important. London Open. What's bigger, more important than West Texas Intermediate crude is Brent crude.
Yeah.
That's another. It's more important worldwide. So that's when Brent crude really it opens up in London. It's a London contract. So all of that, reading that, we had a J trade. Session VWAP is turning up. So when we came into the opening in Comex,
We had a pretty nice house count short, where we all thought the market was maybe a little extended.
and
Here
it was.
is the 1 minute for the crude oil open. Here's that candle here, and pretty good short. Pretty good short.
Yeah.
We were targeting. What were we targeting here, chat? Somebody take a guess. What was the target? We didn't get all the way down there. I think we took the trade off at 61.13s. But this is it, right? No, this was. Yeah, that is it. Today's the 27th. Yeah. Target was VWAP. Target was VWAP, which at VWAP, what do we get? This is not a coincidence. This is not
No,
a
it's
coincidence.
not.
This is not
Look at the volume.
not a coincidence, right? If we are looking at Edgy Invest, really nice short, right? Really nice short. But if we are looking at 9 a.m. Eastern time as the start of the day and not considering anything that happened before it, JD, right? You can't ask for more. I mean, I wasn't trading crude oil, but damn, beautiful 1 minute opening range breakout trade to the downside. And then at VWAP, we get the highest volume 1 minute candle of the day, close above it, and we just turn around. Yeah, that is. I wish I was trading crude. And what I will say is there are going to be more of these, right? I don't think the volatility in crude oil is just starting to pick up. So, don't sleep on this market. Or if you're a crude trader and you hear everyone else talking about, silver or whatever else is shiny right now, crude oil.
Yeah. Well, right now, here's the so I'll talk about that's the opening, first minute breakout, and you had urgencies selling.
Yeah.
Now that's remember you're taking a short period of time. Go back and test that VWAP. I mean, look at the volume when we hit VWAP,
Yep. Ton of it.
and then we had a J trade
Yeah.
on the
Absolutely.
1 minute. So I personally wouldn't take the short because I don't want. But that's a great trade. I don't remember. It's from your perspective. Where are you getting in?
Yeah.
Um, so, but that daily to me is really it's starting to pick up momentum. So
100%.
remember too, a lot of this break was predicated on OPEC going to turn the tap on. They didn't say they would keep turning the tap on forever. That wouldn't be prudent for them. So we, I mean, they could come out and say no, we're not doing that anymore. But I think most of all, dollar weakness. And the history of the dollar and crude. Crude has to be settled in dollars. But in the last year, there's been deals where crude can be settled in euro currency. It can be settled in other currencies. Weakening of the dollar is going to, and remember, this is from our perspective, it is priced in dollars. So if dollar weakens, commodities rally
Yep.
because it takes more dollars to buy. That's it, and it's being led. You can see it in gold and silver. So some great work.
Who
Some
traded crude
great
today?
trading going
Who
on.
traded crude today? Just curious. Uh, Hoop says not buying it until we break $65. Hoop, we could do that tomorrow. We could do that. Oh, yo, they got him out of here. Got him out of here. I think we were getting ready to wrap soon anyway. I got some stuff I got to take care of, but Coach Paul just got pulled the plug on his connection, sharing too much information. JD says I'm going to trade the hell out of this. I mean, it's been moving pretty well. It's been moving pretty well lately. They got him again. It's becoming a pattern. I'm getting a little nervous. I'm going to be honest. I'm getting a little nervous. I need my co-host here, but he's giving out all the market secrets. So I think that's really all we wanted to cover. Really, all we wanted to cover. Again, Fed rate decision tomorrow. Let me check the Fed Watch tool. Let's take a quick look at Fed Watch. Right now, there is a 97.2% probability that the rates are staying the same. He's back. Oh, we lost him again. We lost him again. 97.2% probability that the rates are going to stay the same. So just understand tomorrow has the potential to be volatile, right? That Fed rate decision is coming out 2 p.m. Eastern time. But if you're not seeing the moves that you're looking for early, we'll talk about tomorrow. Saw some questions as well. You know, what do we expect going into Globex? I'll be honest. I'm going to go in with no expectations and just trade the markets that are in front of me. The other day, we saw gold rally. Saw gold rally right below 5,000s. And then a bunch of people were looking for that overnight session to be the session that traded 5,000, and gold just consolidated the entire day. So I'm going to go with no expectations. I'm going to go with no expectations here. Let the markets determine what they're going to do and then trade from there. After this huge move in gold, does it have to keep going? It doesn't have to do anything. Right? And I want to be very conscious of that, where, if I go in with saying, hey, you know what, this should be trading 5,200 and it wants to stay consolidated, I'm not reading the market at that point. I'm reading what I want, and market couldn't give a shit what I wanted, to be honest. So just keep that in mind tonight. Fed rate decision tomorrow, bunch of tech earnings as well. So the markets have the potential to be consolidated. Did you see they were rising a lot this morning? Inexplicable to me why. You say rising, I don't know what you mean there. But very interesting times, very interesting markets. Ton of markets making all-time highs. Gold just made another all-time high today. 51.90.80, the new all-time high in gold. If you were watching that move towards the end of the day, there was some $20, 3-minute candles. So very interesting times here. We're going to go ahead and wrap it there. We'll get ready for tomorrow. Trade well, everybody. Manage your risk. Trade smart. Don't do anything crazy in the markets. All on social media, you see a ton of people posting huge P&Ls and things like that. Our goal here is consistency. And if you can consistently put up those big numbers, great. But you want to trade with measured results. We got Coach Hoop doing a class in Discord, 6 p.m. Eastern time. I believe Coach Robert is doing his class right now as well. After that, we got Coach Ray and Coach Vince, 6 p.m. and 7 p.m. Central time. Coach Dakota with Slow Markets tonight at 7:30 Central. Aaron with the London Open, and D with the Euro Trade. We'll be back for the opening call tomorrow morning. Congrats to everyone who traded well today. It wasn't easy. Absolutely. These are not easy markets to navigate. Presenting opportunity, and that's what we want, but you got to have an account. You have to have the mental capacity to be able to take advantage of these opportunities. So make sure you're checking in with yourself that way and trading these markets when they give you opportunity. We're going to go ahead and wrap there. Thanks everyone again for joining. If you can do us a favor, hit that thumbs up button on the way out. We will talk to you all tomorrow. Hey, Emery. Good to see you. Thanks for tuning in. We'll see you all tomorrow.